A new state health plan, it provides some guidance for medical providers and some government agencies. It's called the Silver State Health Improvement Plan. It serves as an outline pointing out critical issues in our healthcare system and some of the biggest struggles for people who live here. They include opioid overdose, teenage and young adults and their mental health, and obesity. The plan can help create systems to give those who need it the most help.
One of my biggest passions relates to keeping communities healthy, and not just on the individual level, but the entire community. And the COVID-19 pandemic really identified some challenges and cracks in the system that exists. And so this plan identifies a number of goals and strategies that we can implement both as organizations and as governments.
The plan also lays out ideas to improve food insecurity, health literacy, and air quality. It also addresses issues related to funding and supporting public health infrastructure across the state.